Good evening, Halloween listeners. Are you ready for a good, scary Halloween treat? A rather unique and very different kind of ghost story that is more creepier than things that usually go bump in the night? Are you pre-prepared to be scared right out of your wits? Because if this don't do it, then I don't know what will. Since we know people don't like to hear unnecessary loud activity, and especially when taking place in a graveyard. This is a tale about three teenagers not long ago graduated high school that decided one Halloween to take fun beyond the extreme. Well, during Halloween, some people like to be really spooked and scared out of their wits, and they even take fun beyond what should be the limits. But on this particular holiday, these three characters discovered not everything about Halloween is fun or funny. Indeed, a Halloween they will never forget. The cemetery, a place where it's supposed and should be a rather peaceful environment all of the time. And this particular cemetery was constantly experiencing this type of silence, at least until the night of one Halloween when their long-lasting peace was forever disturbed. So disturbed even to the brink of the deceased wanting revenge on their intruders. There were three athletic boys fresh out of high school. Kevin, Marlon, and Lawrence were their names. They were the best of friends, almost inseparable, doing all they could together. They may as well be blood related. They were family to one another's family. They even triple dated occasionally, and since they were acknowledged by many to be so close to one another, a dear friend of one of their fathers whom owned his own business, they couldn't bear to see the group depart their separate ways after graduation, intervened and hired the triple to work on the same department in his plant. Shortly after hire, the three fellas joined their finances and together rented a 3-bedroom house in a well-to-do neighborhood. They also purchased together an extremely nice automobile. Halloween was approaching. The entire area in which they dwelt was popular for deep Halloween activities, going far beyond the extreme, with their decorations even known for winning contests at times, for the house that was the most spooky, creepiest, and haunted looking, or all of the above. The trio hadn't been employed there half a year, and all were doing wonderfully well, until Marlon excitedly recalled receiving an invitation to a major Halloween party, which they were all invited. The party that was being thrown was many, many miles away from where they lived. In fact, it was so far away, had their parents learned of this, they'd have been overly concerned. But that's what made it all the more of a thrill for them not to have to report or be granted permission from anyone to be allowed to stay out as late as they please, and with no worries at all of a curfew. Two other teens, they seemed to have had it made. Three young guys not yet 20 with handsome athletic images, independently living and traveling out on their own. And what made it all the more grand is they were all got along so well. In all of their years as friends, not one single argument ever erupted between them. In fact, that is why they agreed to abide under the same roof, because they knew they could in peace and harmony. They all owned a license, so they'd be able to rotate in driving, which made the long journey far less complicated. They all wanted to request October 31st off until they discovered there was no need, because their boss, due to his religious beliefs, was not a Halloween celebrator at any point and always closed his business not just on Halloween, but on the eve of the holiday as well. In fact, he always arranged for his house to appear as if no one was existing there around the time he knew the trick-or-treaters were soon to be roaming about. Then that settled it. Upon learning this, the guys gave each other a high five. They were now all the more excited to where they spoke of not much else that entire week before Halloween as they discussed preparations of what to wear to the party, whom or what should they disguise as, or just to simply go as themselves. This was as fun to them as deciding to purchase a white or green Christmas tree, one that is tall, medium, or short, fair or expensive, real or artificial. They wandered from here to there, from that store to this mall. They never made plans to bring along dates, even though each of them kept a little black book with a choice of several. The person which given the event was well known to always have plenty of female entertainment on his territory at times such as this, to have plenty of food, drinks, game activities, private areas, and girls, and more girls was always his usual holiday tradition. It was now the morning of Halloween, and even though the day was planned to be no less than innocent, it took a turn for the worse because one of the boys wound up taking this Halloween fun beyond the extreme when he decided to stop at a cemetery located near a forest on their way to the party, which unfortunately they never made it. And all because he desired to take Halloween fun over the limitation, and boy, what a night they all lived to regret. It was indeed a Halloween they'd never forget, at least not anytime soon anyway. Kevin always had a terrible fear of graveyards, but he didn't want the others to know it. Shh. Afraid of what they might think or say if he dared to mention it, I guess. Or that they might make chicken chuckles or surely tease him most of the night. So courageously, he went along. He was happy they never knew anyone that died. As Marlon slowly drove into the dark graveyard opening, Kevin wasn't doing a very good job at hiding his fear. In fact, he was doing a lousy job. He began to tremble, and his palms became very sweaty. He bore similar actions to a condemned, spending his final hours on death row. He was desperately hoping none would ask him anything as of that moment, for his tongue had literally became warped. He'd only been to one funeral in his entire lifetime, which left him paralyzed with the fear of ever attending another one. Just a plain sight of a coffin, whether filled or empty, was always very disturbing to him and never failed to give him the creeps, even if he only noticed one on television. This just never sat well with Kevin. Yes, a casket is an uncomfortable object to view, even quickly, especially when it's taken up residence or just being reserved. He was more than forever grateful that their employer did not run a funeral parlor. Marlon, ain't clearing his throat and loosening his top button. We gonna be late for the party? Kevin asked quite nervously. Relax, Kev. We gonna have a whole lot of fun out here. Wait, you scared of something? He responded jokingly. Oh nah, I ain't scared of nothing. I just don't want us to be late for the party is all. I wanted us to get there kinda early. Marlon looks over at Lawrence and slightly grins. You are scared because I can hear it in your voice. You sound like Porky Pig back there. Don't worry, man. Just sit tight. We'll get there on time. We don't want to be too darn early. Marlon pulls the car over and opens the trunk. The three of them exit from the vehicle. He lifts open the trunk and grabs his basketball, slamming it shut. Then he makes a run with it, dribbling it loudly. Hey, wait on us, Marlon. Don't go too far away, Kevin shouted. I can understand losing somebody in a mall or grocery store, but that ain't hardly the case right here. But Marlon ignores him and proceeds to bounce the ball. Then he continued through it back and forth at a huge tombstone that towered over his 6'6" athletic height that he met in the midst of the graveyard, or rather was there to meet him. Boom, boom, bang, bang, boom, bangity bang, boom. He continued to throw the ball back and forth against the stone. Bang, there he goes again. Hey, is anybody in there? He yells. Bang. When will he stop? Man, let's go now already. We should have been at the party yesterday, Kevin pleaded. And you throwing that ball so hard I can hear that stone vibrating. You about to knock the darn thing over. That means somebody's waking up, he proceeds in great laughter. Lawrence as well watches him, also becoming impatient due to anxiety to get to the party. Only remain in silence another second. You so loud, they are probably waking up by now. And maybe he shouldn't have...